About 5 weeks ago, I had a chance to sing. A chance to see. It's the pain in my hand. Had a chance to see Lady Sings the Blues. What's that called when you put a word ahead of that? I was thinking of the title, Lady Sings the Blues, and I said I had a chance to sing. Stupid, thank you.
There's always somebody in our audience that knows.
Me a weird? No, I had a chance to see Lady Sings the Blues and Diana Ross. That was her acting debut, and she was sensational in it. Not only as a singer, of course, which everybody knows, but she was a fine, fine actress. As a matter of fact, it won her an Academy Award nomination. And later on, you will hear her do a medley of the songs that she does in Lady Sings the Blues. And the album, of course, is from the motion picture, the soundtrack of Lady Sings the Blues. Great kick to have her with us. Would you welcome Miss Diana Ross? How are you, young lady?
Very fine.
Yeah, that was a smashing picture. I don't think I'd not seen the picture the last time you were here. And I had a chance to see it, and you were smashing in it, really. Incredible picture. A lot of good performances in that picture by a lot of people.
I think so.
You had a great cast there. Now, how do you feel? I mean, this is a question that you've been asked, and they ask everybody who's ever up for an Academy Award, and it sounds very corny to ask it, but it has to be thrilling, without a doubt. I mean, that's the furthest highest accolade you can get in the business. Where were you when they told you? Usually nobody knows. The nominating committee, I guess, releases them.
I was in Las Vegas, and I got a telephone call. I wasn't at the tables this time.
You went out
no,
playing
I was
blackjack.
at home, and I got this call, and I was very excited, and then they said, you've got to come over and talk, have a little, press interview and tell me what you think about it. Well, I was really floored because that is the highest honor for anyone in show business. First of all, to be nominated knocked me really off my can. I enjoyed it very much, and it was a thrilling feeling. As I told you before last time I was here, I was so happy about everything.
Right.
But it didn't really dawn on me until I realized that some other people that I know had worked very hard on the film also were being rewarded for their efforts and their work, like my musical director.
For the scoring of the picture?
Scoring and some of the arrangements and the costume designers. And we've got quite a few things going.
When are the Academy Awards? How long do you have to wait now and suffer through all of this?
Well, it's, I know the
sometime in April, I
date
guess.
is March 27th.
March 27th.
Yeah, my birthday is March 26th. So,
well, now, an astrologer, I know an astrologer would say, aha, it's all on the cards for you this year. But it really does come together in cycles, doesn't it? Have you had periods in your life where you have very low periods for a while and nothing seems to be going right, and then all of a sudden, for whatever the reasons, it all comes together, and then sometimes there's another period. But you're at that high period now.
If things were all the same, we wouldn't appreciate the good things as much as we do. There's been moments in my life that I've been very sad and thinking that my career would never get off the ground and so on, But most people realize, just like the other day, receiving that award, Newcomer of the Year, it took me 12 years to become a newcomer. I'm a newie. I don't know if I'm a newie or an oldie.
That's the old story, the 20-year-old overnight discovery.
Yeah.
Been in the business for a number of years, and then all of a sudden they discover you.
Very nice.
In the picture, of course, which is set in the late 30s, most of the holiday was in the early 40s mainly, before she died. Somebody said you were a great stickler for authenticity in the picture, and
well, I tried.
You had to.
I did an awful lot of research, so once you're given certain situations to play, then you want them to be as authentic as what you've read. And I tried as hard as I could to stick with what I had learned about the lady and her life, and plus the time.
Wasn't the happiest life in the world, was it?
No, she had quite a bit of sadnesses. But that's why I thought she had a lot of guts, because she fought for happiness and love constantly. And I think that's what I identified most with her. She tried to find some good spots in everything she did.
A lot of people might wonder, Diana, since you were not a professional actress and didn't have training as such, and then taking on a role like this, how does one go into it with any kind of confidence at all?
Well, I didn't have confidence at the beginning. In fact, I never had confidence. Every day I went in, I had to talk a lot to myself. It's a marvelous thing about when other people have confidence in you, and you try to do what they expect of you. And I have a lot of people that really think that I can do pretty good at whatever I put my mind to. And I'm not that sure of myself. And many times I have to go down and they constantly push me up. Well,
with a pep talk?
Yeah, with a little pep talk. And this was even with the Supremes. That was lucky with us. It was 3. So one day when I was down, Mary or Cindy or Florence were doing their things. Yeah, and so it helped.
Well, when we come back, we have a small piece of film from Lady Sings the Blues. I think it's a scene which, in her life, when Billie Holiday was pretty much heavy on drugs at one time, where she was desperate for a fix. I think that's the scene we're going to show. Then later on, I heard you going over with Doc and the fellas today. There's some great music in that. Great music. Yeah. So we'll have you do that. Right now, we're going to take a little break here. Ed has a word about Alpo.
You need a magnifying glass to figure out what you're feeding your dog? Not if you're feeding him Alpo. Alpo's got what dogs love. Meat. Real beef and meat byproducts. And Alpo's got more of it. But if you think the dog food you are now using is like Alpo, then pick up that magnifying glass and read the label. If you find things like cracked barley or wheat flour in your dog food, you've found cereal. But Alpo doesn't have a speck of cereal. Alpo's just beef and meat byproducts. The only things Alpo adds are vitamins and minerals. All of them that dogs and growing puppies need. And just look at the way Chip here goes for his Alpo. Next time you go shopping, remember, Alpo means more meat. All the meat you're paying for. Because Alpo doesn't have a speck of cereal. Now, doesn't your dog deserve Alpo, too?
That's good. What was that last note you hit on that trumpet?
Oh, that was...
Never mind that. Come on. What was that?
You wait a minute till I look it up here.
Oh, forget it.
It was a high F.
A high F.
Concert.
That's a high note, isn't it? Can't ask him a serious question anymore. You had a lot of good musicians in that picture.
Yes, we did. We had musicians that worked with Billy, and they helped me a lot because I talked to them about. They would come in and listen to the version that we put on tape, and they would tell me certain feelings they had about her music and how she did what she did and why, you know. And it was lovely for me. I learned a lot from them.
Is there anything you experienced as Billie Holiday as you haven't experienced yourself? I mean, any kind of a emotional type of feeling of playing that role?
I had to use an awful lot of emotions that I really didn't know I had. But the main thing I couldn't really identify with was drugs. But being today like it is, and with the scene like it is, you know, the drug scene, there was lots of information that I could read and find out and research. And I'm happy that that is available for a lot of our young people to also know that they can read up on these things and find out about them without getting involved and being so curious to see.
Get the information up front rather than firsthand.
Yeah, from a book. I mean, if we're educated beforehand, I think a lot of youngsters won't get any hurt, you know.
It's a rather startling scene you're about to see because this has to do with that very thing.
It has to do with some kind of hunger that means more than life itself.
And people who are in this stage of drug addiction will kill. They'll do almost anything when they get to this point. It's just absolute desperation. So, Bobby, you want to roll this film clip from Lady Sings the Blues?
Come on, baby, I gotta pee.
So that's why you ran out of the club so fast.
Yeah.
Huh? Yes, sir. Well...
Oh, come on, baby.
Wait a minute. Now, wait. They don't have no woman's John in the club?
You know they got a woman's John at the club.
Hmm?
Come on.
Come on, what?
It was dirty.
What's dirty? What are you talking about? Wait a minute.
I told you at the club. Come on.
What's wrong?
Come on. I gotta go. Oh, I gotta... Come on, baby.
You know what they say? You gotta go, you gotta go. There you go.
Yeah, I know you don't want me. Come on.
You're always hogging up the bathroom. You never give me a chance to get in the bathroom.
Oh, oh.
You better use this. You gotta go. You better use this right now. Come on. 'Cause I can't let you in the bathroom.
You want me to do it right here, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
What's the problem? Hmm? Why are you sick? Come on. I'm not gonna let you go in the bathroom. Not right now. Not right now. You'd kill me for it, wouldn't you?
That's a powerful scene. That was Billy D. Williams, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
That scene was unbelievable because I told him going in, I said, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going for... I have one goal in mind, is to get my drugs, you know, in that scene. And he didn't know it was going to go. I heard him. He's got scratches. He had everything after that scene. You know, I hit him with the strap.
You just improvisational at the time?
Well, I feel like since acting was so new to me, I had to do... I had to react to whatever the situation was. And I probably went a little far sometimes, you know, but I had to learn from reacting to situations.
That was a scene. I do that at contract time with NBC.
Let me have it.
Remember when I hit Dave Tebbutt with a Hostess Twinkie?
That's right.
We'll come back, and then Diana's going to do a medley of songs from the picture, which are great. We'll be right back after this word from Celanese.
May I help you?
Oh, I'm just looking. Lovely.
Now,
Very
that's
good.
the theme. Just to get you in the mood. I know you have to leave after you finish the medley, and I want to thank you for being with us first of all tonight. And then I want to mention you're going to do a European tour, right? At the same time, coincidentally, with the opening of the picture.
Well, it's not by coincidence.
Concurrently, I guess that's what I meant.
I missed the premiere in New York, the opening of Lady, and that was the first because I was pregnant. Well, I told them, I said, I hope I never, ever missed another first. So they'd have my tour of Europe and of the Far East to coincide with every premiere, every opening in every country. So I'll be traveling and performing at the same time, which makes me very happy.
That should be great. You all set? You got your list in our band? It's at your disposal.
Okay.
Here's Diana Ross with medley song, Lady Sings.
Lady got a man. She feels so sad. Want the world to know just what a blues is all about. The blues ain't nothing but a pain in your heart. When you get a bad start, you and your man have to part. Smiles, tears, and laughter were all a part of her. She had a lot of compassion, a lot of joy, and a whole lot of hurt. She loved hard. She lived hard. And she died the same way. But she was a lady. Lady Day. Lady sings the blues. She tells her side, nothing to hide. Now the world knows she's never gonna sing no more. No more. And this song was written by Miss Billie Holiday. Them that's got shall get. Them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Your mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Good morning, heartache, you old gloomy sight. Good morning, heartache, thought we said goodbye last night. I tossed and turned until it seemed you had gone. But here you are with the dawn. Wish I'd forget you, but you're here to stay. It seems I met you when my love went away. Now every day I start by saying to you, good morning, heartache, what's new? Stop haunting me now. Can't shake you no how. Just leave me alone. I've got those Monday blues, straight through Sunday blues. Good morning, heartache. Here
here we go again. Good morning, heartache. You're the one who knew me well. Might as well get used to you hanging around. Good morning, heartache. Sit down. If I should take a notion to jump into the ocean, ain't nobody's business if I do. If I go to church on Sunday, then cabaret all day Monday, ain't nobody's business if I do. If I give him my last nickel and it leaves me in a pickle, ain't nobody's business if I do. I swear I won't call no cop if I'm beat up by my papa. Ain't nobody's business if I do. 'Cause I'd rather my man would hit me than for him to jump up and quit me. Ain't nobody's business if I do. If my man ain't got no money, and I say, take it all, honey. Ain't nobody's business if I do. Nobody's business. Ain't nobody's business. Nobody's business if I do. Out of all the songs done in the film, this one for you is my favorite. It's cost me a lot, but there's one thing that I've got. It's my man. Cold and wet, tied you bet. All of that I soon forget. Oh, with my man. He's not much for looks, and no hero out of books, but I love him. Two or three girls has he that he likes as well as me. Oh, but I love him. I don't know why I should. He isn't true. He beats me too. What can I do? Oh, my man, I love him so. You'll never know. All my life is just despair. I don't care when he takes me in his arms. The world is right. All right. What's the difference if I say I'll go away when I know I'll
You don't get too many exciting 11 minutes like that in television.
That's about the best 11 minutes we've ever had.
She's sensational. She is absolutely sensational. All right. We will be back in a moment after this word. Stay with us. We have Pat Boone, Chuck Grodin.